Hey, you with a pretty little smile. I wanna see the light just.
Organizing partners of this event today. And what my organization does is we use space intelligence, blockchain, and other aspects of in software to help farmers make the right decisions about their crops. And then beyond that, to use this decision making as well as their farm activity and farm performance to give them access to blockchain-based credit so that they can improve the performance of their farms. And we're also working with the Wangari Maathai Foundation and the Green Belt Movement, one on this hackathon, as well as helping merge the conservation and tech ecosystem together. So a bit more again about the hackathon is that this is the first Wangari Maathai hackathon ever. Makofi. It's the first Wangari Maathai hackathon ever. And it's been organized with the intention of getting young people like yourselves to actively think about the change that we can make with regard to how conservation is done in Kenya, and hopefully even the projects that come out of this can scale beyond Kenya into East Africa and the rest of the globe. So we're really glad that you're here and that you'll be able to help develop those solutions. And we'll talk a lot more about how that will happen. But first, I'd like us to introduce the Green Belt Movement and Wangari Maathai Foundation, who are the organizers of this hackathon, to talk to us a bit more about the heart of it, the vision, and maybe take some comments and questions from you guys. So I welcome Job from the Green Belt Movement.
Habari yenyu? Mko salama? Ai, mnakaa mmeboeka. Jamaa kwanza hapa mmebonda. Uko sawa? You're good? Yes. So, my name is Job Mwangi. I'm the advocacy manager at the Green Belt Movement, a lawyer by training, and I'll be an advocate in 20 days. Yes. Wacheni nitumie hiyo line. 20 days, I'll be an advocate. So, and I know my friend actually there knows why that is. Even Mona, you're still one of us. Yes. So that then I'll also bring in the Green Belt team. Sasa, back to you.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Habari ya asubuhi. Mko salama? Perhaps I'm the one person who has traveled a lot to come, the longest distance. I came from Kakamega. Clap for me. Thank you so much. My name is Conrad Kea. I work for Wangari Maathai Foundation in Kakamega, and I've come with a lot of problems that you guys need to solve. So today, I'm not solving problems. I came with a very big bag, for those who saw me when I came in. So the problems, I'm carrying them. I hope we shall solve them together. Thank you.
Thanks, Conrad. Good morning. Good morning once again. I don't feel the youthful energy in the house. Is it very cold? Yeah? My name is Agnes Nailante, Programs Manager, Wangari Maathai. So much. And what fascinates me most is that the youth that we have today in the house are the
got to know about remote sensing. How do you use satellite to understand what's happening on Earth? So how do you use satellite to understand what's happening with natural resources? And now proceeded with that, and to confirm that this is actually happening, we appended whatever proofs we got on chain. And yeah, so that was one of the projects. Then now with Antogrow, we are getting to get farmers on chain by doing their reputation scores and their credit scores. So we're based on the farmer's satellite history of the farm, so how your farm looks like. So we've been fortunate to have support from the Kenya Space Agency. How many of you know the Kenya Space Agency? Yeah, so the Kenya Space Agency is one of our extremely critical partners because of satellite data, and being our great supporters. We now consume satellite data to now use that as part of our inputs when assessing farms. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be with all of you. I'm happy to see our great friends here. Thank you to GBM, thank you to WMF for organizing this. I'm happy to see Kevin here from GSMA, and we'll be here with you guys. This is the opening event, as I believe you've all been told about. And for builders, one of the things that you should actually be very, very, take care of is storytelling. So be a good friend to Mona. And you might think that you know what you're doing, you know how to describe what you're doing, but at times for builders, it's usually a challenge. So, and that's now mostly my work nowadays, which is helping builders tell their story. So we're talking of builders who are like from early stage, from idea stage to extremely late stage. So if you're building on chain, say hi to me, we can talk about that. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Brian, for organizing this. I'm the founder of Antogrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to everyone. I don't think I've missed anyone. What I want to mention is that all the people that you've seen speak here today will be part of either your resource mentorship team or your technical mentorship team or your creative storytelling mentorship team. So whether you'll be an individual builder, contributor, whether you'll be in a team, we're going to put you all in a WhatsApp group where we'll dispense a lot more information about this, including all the data sets that you need, all the mentors that you'll have access to. As Antogrow as well, we will be providing you with technical mentors. So our GIS team will be available to work with you. Our IoT team will be available to work with you. Myself and Eddie will be available as well to help you think about the technical and the business strategy aspects of your businesses, because the objective is not to have a hackathon and then have a winning project, get a handshake from the principal, I don't know, get recognition, get an internship somewhere, get some money somewhere. It's not just that. It is, we want the project that you build to be incubated. I will get ahead of myself. But to be incubated and to continue on as something that will outlive you yourself. We want you to build a company, not just a project. Yeah? But before we get into the hackathon tracks and what's in store, I want to welcome our panelists for today and moderator for today. We'll be having a short discussion about the hackathon, about conservation and technology, and what everybody's thoughts is with that regard. I welcome all of you to please ask questions during that session, because after that we'll go into hackathon tracks and what specifically we'd like for people to build, and then we'll close off the session. Great. So I want to welcome Jane and the team. We'll take a very, very, very short 2-minute break as we set up the panel session. So please feel free to grab some tea and snacks from outside if you're still hungry, because we still have tea and snacks outside. Thank you. DJ. Choo.
Some taco sip na live emoji to your fish on me. PTA bila woga, your license ni bad. I'll buy some boxes you can share with me. Wache kuvisit wishi nami. Kifungu kutole kopi usizubae kwa gate. Vitungu tutone ngozi uchi ujionyeshe. Si Valentine's ni kweke akas pale kwa TV. That's my way and it must be me. Kesho yetu sifananishe na jana. Amina reli hazitoshani upana. Uchumi mbaya but I spend my 2 days with you. Leo wiko na guarantee. Takwita wangu kabla uitwe na Maulana. You're my rose but I still give you your flowers. Takupenda sahi na kasi sahi. Ni sasa hivi. Takwita Abatini, malutini. Mina bangani yabazi, vele baduna ngespachi. Usandola mama yalazi, wenze into to the starch. Mina bangani yabazi, vele baduna ngespachi. Usandola mama yalazi, wenze into to the starch. Dancing in the morning, todo mundo, ingane in the morning. Ella confessa un peticale, lasciando
Okay, hello. Okay, I hope we've all taken a break. I want us to go quickly into a very short panel. And so I will welcome Job. Hi, Job. You come to the front. Who else is? Panelists, just come to the front. Job, Agnes. Okay, Conrad, are you here? Sawa. Okay, so we'll have a very short panel discussion. Thank you. Moderated by Jane.
Okay, so good. Oh, it's still afternoon, just afternoon now. Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Jane, but today, for the purpose of today, I prefer that you call me Wangari, just to honor Wangari Maathai Hackathon. And so on that, I am Wangari, and I'm the co-founder of a community-led organization called Adama, where we are working with a lot of young, innovative developers and builders and creators to just make sure that innovation is done correctly and across board. And I am delighted to just host this conversation. And I think though it's very important, even as we build on climate conservation and the purpose of the hackathon, we understand the context to which our solutions will be going to solve, and just the conversations around it. And so I am privileged to be joined by Job, Agnes, and Conrad, who have an extensive experience in advocacy, climate conservation. I'm sorry, my mother is calling me. Anyway, and I will not have heard it any other way. And so just to get us started, I would like us to just set the foundation for what we're doing here today. Professor Wangari Maathai taught us that small acts can create big change, and that's why even as we're here, we're being called to be hummingbirds, right? And so when we talk about that philosophy of being a hummingbird, how do you see her spirit of action and resilience translating into today's world of youth and technology? How can us who are here come together in technology and become hummingbirds in that spirit? We can start with Job.
Yes, hello. You can hear me, yeah? Often this story of hummingbird is actually told, and the story came when Wangari was pushing for the Mountain campaign in Japan. And I don't know, how many of us know the hummingbird story? I don't want to assume, and then I need to retell, which is important. So Wangari tells of this story that one time the forest was on fire. And all the animals were scared, they were scampering for safety. You know the normal Kenyan way, when something is happening, you want to save yourself. But while all the animals were running away, a small bird, a hummingbird, was actually seen running where the fire is and back, running where the fire is and back. And all the animals were wondering, what is this animal doing? What is this small bird doing? Only for them to realize that this small bird was actually going, taking a drop of water, running to where the fire is, and just dropping it. So to all these animals, they were like, what is this you're trying to do? All this fire, you are a very small bird. What change will you bring to this major fire? And so when the hummingbird was asked, what are you doing? The hummingbird said, I'm doing my little, the little I can. And so Wangari Maathai, while telling this story, she was saying that her little is actually planting trees. So today you might think of these problems being very big, but are you doing a little first? Before you say Serikali's idea, before you say the other person will do, are you already doing a small bit? So that's the hummingbird story. So what can we do to harness technology? During all the exploits of Wangari Maathai, and we're talking about before 2008, we did not have the power of technology, We did not have social media. Imagine, You see the way we speak about Wangari Maathai. Imagine that time we didn't have social media. That showed you of trees. No, we didn't have that. So for her, she really relied on mainstream and the power of people. So in this advent of technology, we actually have a golden opportunity, especially on AI tech, to actually harness our small thing. Our small thing. So we can easily consolidate, we can easily take advantage of the resources, we can take advantage of AI. For me, I'm a big believer of AI. In fact, I'm doing papers on AI as we speak, because I know that is the future. So for me, I believe that our small bit will come in through tech, and not just tech, AI.
Amazing. What do you think, Agnes? What's our small thing as a hummingbird in the youth and technology intersection?
Okay, thank you very much. I think this is very relevant, especially with the young people. Just as Job said, sometimes it's very easy to think that the current challenges that we are facing are too much for action. But the hummingbird story tells us that even personal contributions can actually make a huge difference. And I really liked what Mona said in the beginning, that in the conservation space, there's a lot of greenwashing. There's so much going on, because some of these solutions are brought by external people. And it's a call for us to ask ourselves today, what's your legacy? What's your contribution in this space? What's your personal contribution? Because every small action, just like the hummingbird story, will make a very huge contribution. So even as we present the challenges today, your contribution, that thing that, and I want you to take it very personal, thinking about the grassroots challenges that our people are facing today. When I was seated there, I was thinking, maybe we are here right now, but there's a lady who went to fetch water in the river today morning and noticed that the water is polluted. I want you to think of the solution on the grassroots level, because these are the people who are actually interacting with our environment. They are the people who are close to these resources. And every small contribution that you make today will have an impact. Imagine finding a solution to solve a problem that a woman is facing right now in the village. As a personal contribution, it will make a great impact for people, for the world that we are living in today. So this story calls on a very personal reflection to the challenges that you are facing today. Thank you.
Amazing. Conrad?
Thank you so much for the question, and I will start from where Agnes has left. This story, personally, it is a very personal. It is a story that has helped me as a person to grow. I remember a while back, I used to do blogs, and I think I did a blog around the hummingbird, and it is one of the blogs that has garnered so many views in my blog. So it is a story that is so personal to me, and of course, it has really helped me to always do the right thing and do the little thing in every field that I am. The intersection of the story with tech, by the fact that all of us are sitting here from different fields, we have data analysts, we have researchers, we have techies here. That really means that the collective effort of bringing everything together from different fragmentation is the key to success. So I believe everyone with their skill, you have data, you have the information, and you have the skill. So all of us here, whether you are bringing in the skill, the little thing, that is what really matters, and that is what will solve the most problems. Yeah.
Amazing. And I hope we're all just taking that as a personal challenge. What is the little thing that we can do? And now, speaking of the youth, and we've seen a lot of hunger and just getting involved, being part of the solution, right? Even in just what has happened in the country in the past year. When we talk about the Wangari Maathai Foundation and the Green Belt movement, how are the youth involved right now? What do you think they could do more? And what kind of support are you looking to do just the youth, right? So that they can get involved in the story and the legacy that Wangari Maathai has built over time. Maybe we can start with Agnes on this one.
Thank you very much. So for the Wangari Maathai Foundation, I'm very proud to say that most of our programs are youth-focused. So we are trying to bring up leaders who are green conscious in whatever space that you are in. So either in politics, either in technology, because we believe the decisions that will be made by leaders who are green conscious, who are aware of the current challenges and they have the passion for the environment, will make a better space. So right now, as you know, Wangari Maathai does a lot of programs that are youth-focused in the country, but specifically, and that's why Conrad is here as well. Sorry, I have a very bad cold. So we are bringing in, we are implementing a project in Kakamega, a 2-year project, where we have different youths engaged in different activities. We have the youth cafes. These are very informal conversations or engagements, dialogues that we have with the youth to raise something inside them, to bring up campaigns, to bring up solutions, so that they can be able to speak about their problems. We are inaugurating soon a youth hub there, where youths, again, like 100 youths come together to bring these solutions, discuss about their challenges, do different activities that will eventually contribute to the current challenges, again, that we are facing. And also, and Conrad will also add on this, we also are doing programs targeting the young children in school. That this is 7 to 16 years, to bring the behavior change. So we are also molding the very, very young kids in doing different environmental conservation.
And maybe I can just ask a bit more on the specific challenges that you're talking about, and what are the outcomes that you're seeing with the programs that you already initiated?
Thank you for that question, and I'll start with the young kids. So one, we are running a campaign in Kakamega called I Plant Trees, and for the 2 years we are planning to plant a significant number of trees in Kakamega, not just working with selected schools, but in the county in general. And one of the challenges that I've noticed is that, and even in the country, I know there's the 1 billion tree campaign, but the monitoring for these trees is very limited. So we are focusing, as a country, we are focusing on tree planting and not tree growing. For tree growing, I mean, is planting a tree, being able to monitor it until maturity, but we only have events where trees are planted, it's very colorful, and after that day, everybody is gone. So some of these trees are planted in areas that they barely survive, especially when it's not the rainy season. But for Kakamega, we are thinking about having a monitoring system where when we plant a tree, either in schools, we are able to, for accountability purposes, we are able to allocate for ownership. So we plant a tree in a school, and we make sure that that tree has somebody who is taking care of it. We are able to record the tree species, maybe GPS coordinate of where that tree was planted, who it's assigned to, so that anybody who is even, let's say in Nairobi, I'm able to try and monitor that tree in Kakamega. That way, for instance, if we even have the tree species, all the tree species of planted in Kakamega, I'm able to even, for research purposes, identify a tree that is doing well, a tree species that is doing well in Kakamega, a tree species that is not doing well. So assuming I've recorded 100 trees for different species, I'm able to tell species X is not doing very well in Kakamega, and it can inform research of where best to plant that tree, or maybe in a different area. And that way, we will improve forest cover and ensure that all the trees that we are planted are able to grow to maturity. So that's one of the problems that we are having, monitoring the trees that we grow.
Okay, amazing. And I just, to add on to that, Joe, maybe, starting from the previous question on how the challenges that you have and how the youth are plugging into that, and also adding to what she has just talked about.
Okay, I prefer to start it a bit high so that I bring it down, because I know Somebody was asking me, Wangari Maathai Foundation, Greenbelt, what is happening? So, when Wangari Maathai was alive, she used to see development as a three-legged stool. So for her, she used to see development as peace, governance, that is leadership, and conservation. So when she was alive, she had a vision of ensuring that post her life, already she had known she'll die either way, because as all of us will all die. She started 3 entities. So the first entity was the Greenbelt, which started in 1977, which was to handle her conservation efforts. Then the second bit was her aspect of legacy, which birthed the Wangari Maathai Foundation. And that's why you're hearing them talk about the youth, engaging children. Then the other bit was the Wangari Maathai Institute, which is housed at the University of Nairobi. That now handles her academia side. So that's a connection. Sasa, you see now, that's why we actually joined at the hip. So you'll hear us talking a lot similar, the same language. Now, at the Greenbelt movement, our focus is purely conservation and restoration. And for us to do that, we look at it in 3 pillars. So the first pillar is restoration of degraded lands, where we majorly work in watershed areas, majorly the water towers. That's why if you heard me speak, I was talking about water towers. So we are currently working in the 5 major water towers where we run projects, and since 1977, we've managed to plant over 51 million trees and restored over 3 million hectares of land. Basically, I don't think any other NGO in Kenya has done that. Last year alone, we planted 1.2 million trees. So we are a voice. For us, we say purely, we can tell the government that it's not doing the right thing. We are a voice, we've done it, we know how it's done. And for us, beyond planting, as she has said, we believe in growing. So that's the first angle. The second pillar that we majorly do as Greenbelt is a livelihoods component. So for us, what we've realized, beyond telling these farmers and these people to plant trees, we must also ask ourselves, what if we tell them to protect the trees, yet they don't have firewood? What will they do? So they'll plant the trees and then kesho wazikate. Wangari Maathai say that a poor person will cut down the last tree to go and cook the last meal, and tomorrow they don't care what will happen. So the livelihood component for us is majorly on what else can we do to help these people to be empowered. And here we bring in the aspect of agroforestry. We do a lot of training on entrepreneurship. We have a number of activities, beehive keeping, and now also we brought a component of advocacy, which I'll also be mentioning on how we are thinking in terms of livelihood. So to complement the first pillar. The third pillar for Greenbelt, and under livelihoods, currently we have over 5,000 grassroots organizations all over Kenya, where we buy trees from them, so just to ensure that they can earn a living wasiende kukata misitu. The third pillar is advocacy, which is the pillar ahead. And here we look at it in threefold. We talk about litigation, so we go to court to fight for the trees. We empower communities on how they can fight for their rights. And here we majorly, this is where the youth agenda comes in. This year alone, we've reached over 15,000 youth, training them on how to fight for environment. Through various projects, including a project we're running in the various urban areas and mashinani. Next week, Batwana, we'll be empowering youths in CFAs, Community Forest Associations. So for us, we've been very strong on youth agenda, and our target in the next 3 years is to ensure that we can at least reach 5 million youth, just come in and understand what they can do in their role. So let me go to the challenges. The biggest challenge we're having with the young people, and the beauty in this room is that you have amazing young people, is that often, just as you guys have a lot of energy to embrace, you also have a lot of energy to give up easily. We've seen that a lot. We've been asking ourselves, is it maybe the lack of mentorship or direction? You get psyched like this, then tomorrow you also lose that psyche as fast. In the many initiatives we've been having, as much as we onboard you, that aspect of consistency is lacking. Either it's distraction, especially when, let me put it as it is, when you find that the incentive does not center around money, it has become a bit hard for us to have you guys plug in. Yet, we've been asking ourselves, if it's purely conservation, if we are fighting for your generations to come, how do we look at the bigger picture together? And I totally understand the kind of economics and what is happening. So that bit of financing has been very challenging, because often you'll find, especially because we are doing projects in the informal settlements, some of these people will not even show up if they're not getting per diems or being fair. Yet some of these projects offer scholarships for them to go to school. So it's tricky. And I hope maybe in this room, we will maybe develop more volunteerism, because I'm imagining if Wangari Maathai decided to fight for this forest just because she's getting money out of it, hakuna msiti ingekuwa. Wangari was actually doing this out of her pocket. And we always say, actually, Wangari died poor. I don't know if there's somebody who has written that article. Actually, Wangari died poor. Because for her, she thought of it beyond the money bit. Secondly, what we are finding a lot of youth lacking is aspect of organization. You see, like the way we managed to bring you together. That bit of coordination, and maybe this one comes based out of lack of experience, but there is beauty in numbers. Gen Z's Mandamano last year showed us that. So even in these spaces, we've been really encouraging this majority of youths, especially in Mashinani and wherever we work, to be organized. Our parents, our mothers learned the table banking system. Sio unanga ujanja. And the men have like a gotitic thing. So what do the youth have? Wewe, iwe kwa hiyo place unaishi. Do you have something where you guys can sit and talk? Do you have? How many of you have? But your parents have table banking, mama. Wanaenda wanapiga story. So what do you guys have? Your techies actually. What do you have as a techie's umbrella here? So that aspect of being organized is actually what even the leadership of the day is actually taking advantage of. They know you're not organized. So they will hit you with that. So we would request for you guys to be more organized. Let's see how we can be structured better going forward, because there are so many opportunities that you guys can plug in, but how you organize yourselves also really counts. And finally, for the young people, which is what we always saying, for many years, we've been split a lot on ideologies, tribal lines, economic status. But over the years, what we've realized is that what are we first? We are Kenyans first. So we've also been pushing even in our training that we look at everything we are fighting for as Kenyans first. If you're fighting for conservation, Kenyans first. If you're fighting for development, Kenyans first. If you're going to work with the Wangari Maathai Foundation for training on leadership, we are Kenyans first. So that's something we're really encouraging as we go forward.
Amazing. So it sounds like as if it's not just about planting trees. It's more than that. It's governance, it's leadership, and it's how all of us can plug in. And just as we almost get to the conclusion of this, then why a hackathon, okay? So why should we care and why is a hackathon the best way to get to the solutions of the challenges that are happening, whether it's in GPM or it's in the Wangari Maathai Foundation and the work that you guys do, right? Why are we all here as storytellers, creators, developers, and community partners, right? Yeah, maybe we can start with Conrad, and then Agnes, and then Joe.
Thank you so much. Before I answer your question, I think I would want to add what Joe has said. I think he has exhausted about what the youth want and what they don't want. There's a famous saying that the youth know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. We know we don't want bad leadership, but when it comes to making right decisions, we don't make them. I would just say I've worked with so many young people, and especially Kenyan young people. The problem we have is that most young people, especially us, the elite young people, we tend to shy off from conversations that really matter. And perhaps you are a techie, you'll want to participate more in conversations around tech, around Bitcoin, and around AI, but you don't want to take part in conversations that really mean for our country, because if you do not have a healthy country, definitely you will not be able to do what you want to do in terms of tech. So I would want to beseech all of us that we need to participate in conversations, critical conversations, because why do we go to the streets in one sector and do not, of course, advocate for better governance in other sectors as well? So I would just want to urge all of us that as young people, I think it is high time we take up the space, speak up, and of course participate fully. Why a hackathon? Because looking at it from where I sit, is a hackathon is an opportunity for all of us to give different ideas, because everyone, every techie, every person has an idea, and I think that presents an opportunity for all of us to give ideas. And of course, the ideas in terms of competition is also very healthy, because it also helps us to get the best and perhaps improve on already those that are there. For instance, in Kakamega, and I mean all of us have been members of 4K clubs. How many were members of 4K clubs in primary school or high school? Anyone? Job was, but all of us. Mnafanya job akika mzee. So, how many are members of Rotary or Rotaract? Rotary or Rotaract? Yeah, we have a good number. Scout? How many were members of the Scout? Yeah, a couple of us. So this really means what happens to the 4K clubs, immediately people leave school. Because the 4K clubs were meant to actually build Kenya. Does someone know what the 4K means? The 4Ks is actually a Kiswahili word that meant kuungana, kufanya, kusaidia Kenya. And it was launched, of course, post-independence. So this really means we have no synergy after school. What happens to those people, to those young people, once they leave school? How do they continue with the work of conservation, even after schools? So those are some of the issues we need to, some of the problems that we have, that we do not have synergy, as well as what about the mentorship? Because, for instance, when you're a member of Rotary, I think you graduate to a senior member, and you can still mentor the young ones, same to Scout. So what happens to the 4K clubs? And do we have synergy between 4K clubs in different schools? So you see, there are so many problems, and I think using of course, that route, the hackathon route, I think we can get very many good solutions.
Amazing. So we only have 5 more minutes left, so we can wrap it up on that with Agnes and Job as well.
5 minutes. Thank you. I think I'm like Mona storyteller, but I'll try and be very brief. For me, why the hackathon? I always believe that conservation cannot be done in isolation. It's very simple. It cannot be done in isolation. We need everybody on board, and hence the technology. So there are 3 things I'm thinking about. There is community, there is science, there is technology. We really need to bring these 3 things together for a successful solution, especially towards where we are going in future. So as you hear my name, Nailante, I'm a Savannah girl. I come from the Savannah. And implementing the Kakamega project, it's an island. And when I went there, the first time I went there, I was mobilizing the youth. And when I interacted with the different partners from government, county, and everybody, I was telling them, help me identify youth who are passionate about the environment, who are actually already taking up these initiatives, be it in smart agriculture, planting trees, clean energy, waste management, and all that. And I was able to identify amazing people. It exceeded my expectation. There are people who are doing an amazing things there. So I called 10 youth that I believe were the best. So I called them for a meeting. To my surprise, they do not know each other. We need to think beyond the connection on LinkedIn, Facebook, and find a platform where youth in this space can have real engagement. So for me, that has also been a challenge. And even in the country, we do not have, and this goes to the point Job mentioned, that sometimes the youth, when we like, we are not organized, and that's why they beat us. So we need to think beyond social media and come up with platforms that youth with specific interests, especially in conservation, can work together, because that's where solutions will be born. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes. And I just want to say for the techies in the room, platform is not in the app only. It's also in Nights of Good, right? And any other space that you meet each other, right?
Great. I think she has really left it at a very good place. I want to respond to that question by asking a question. How many of you, where you live, you have a green space? Green space is a place where you can go and chill. Kuna tumiti, kuna greenery. How many of you? Let me see your hands. That is less than a quarter in the room. I was at a public discussion yesterday, and I'm assuming all of us live in Nairobi. Apparently, there are actually 867 public green spaces in Nairobi. Umesikia your point? They are mapped, they are confirmed, but unfortunately, as much as you're saying 867 exist, less than, hear this, less than 100 are still in the public's hands. Why has that happened? We've realized over the years, one of our biggest weaknesses, even as conservation organization and many other sectors, is lack of information. Sindio? That's the biggest problem we're having. Nobody has ever sat down, mapped, told us, for example, today told us how many parks do we have in Nairobi, where are they located, what is the size, how is the ownership, and how do you get this information? The easiest way, according to me, is through tech. Sindio? That's the number one thing. So, this being the 20th year since Wangari Maathai won the Nobel Peace Prize, for us to fill these many voids and many others, we'd want to engage young people to help us generate solutions to many of the problems that we're having as conservation organizations. Be it mapping, be it our systems, name it. We have so many problems. And we believe that you guys have the answers that you're looking for. If at all you're not connected, because we have other events, and all these other events, are none of them is really touching on the youth. It's easy for us to actually work with you people to help us come in and generate the solutions. It would have been very easy for us to advertise online and say, looking for TOR, blah, blah, blah. But imagine, we even don't know what you want. And they've been asking us, what are your problems? Amani has asked me that so many questions, so many times in cargo. So what are your GBM problems? And we're like, actually, we don't know. Imagine, because our thinking is very limited to the linear way we do things. But you guys are fresh, brilliant, amazing. Some of these problems we are mentioning here are like, shida ndogo. I can actually help you, and I can create it. And what we intend to do, out of the prototypes we'll create here, we assure you, we will actually adopt, and we were telling them, we'll actually adopt them together with our partners and many in the room to see to it that we see them to fruition. And we can discuss about ownership later. But let's first generate the beautiful ideas and work together. Going forward, I believe resources is not the problem. Actually, for us, the problem is not resources. Even in Kenya, the problem is not resources. The problem is getting the right idea going forward. And you're young people, you represent the future. Please give us those ideas.
Amazing. And I think on that note, we can end it, right? Okay, round of applause for our panelists. All right, so thank you so much, Conrad, Agnes, and Job. All I have heard for anyone who's participating in the hackathon is an idea for what I can do for the hackathon, right? If you have not heard that, maybe you didn't listen to the conversation, right? But yeah, thank you so much for your time. Brian, you can take the program back. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane, and thank you to the entire panel for that. So we have like around 20 minutes left in our program. So I want to go straight into the next bit, and then we can take a break. Okay, so we've, over the past around hour and a half, set context and the foundation as to what problems it is that we're trying to solve, why they exist, and what role you have to play. So I'm hoping everybody can see. Can everyone see this the screen at least? Okay. Nunua miwani. Mimi nilikuwa hivyo kitambo kabla sijanunua miwani. So we have three main tracks that the hackathon is going to touch on. Okay? The first one is localized forest watch and monitoring. So localized forest watch and monitoring basically means how can we build comprehensive ways of seeing what's going on Hello? So I'll give an example. And I had mentioned this earlier. We have 200,000 acres of forest land being lost per year. That is a very general statement. We don't know much about where exactly this forest cover is being lost. We don't know much about who is causing the loss, like who is the actual individual doing this. And a good example of why that is happening is because reporting is so difficult. It's very difficult for me to take my phone and say, niliona Njoro jana akikata mti pale Karura. Niliona Elizabeth jana akikata mti pale Karura. You know? Even when people steal mangoes from our trees at home, we don't even say. So imagine how difficult it is for people to actually go ahead and report anonymously about what's going on in our green and forest spaces. So some of the things that you could build is anonymous reporting tools. For people in cryptography, there is ZK proofing tools. For people building traditional Web2 software, these platforms that have been built previously like Ushahidi, which have been so beneficial to the nation in terms of election and election fraud and all the data that comes with that. The second one is on data-driven impact management. So after you've collected all this data from what's happening in our green spaces, how do we actually collate that and measure the impact of what we're doing? Because many a time, if we don't actually take stock, we don't know if we're doing better or worse. So how can we build tools that allow us to do data-driven impact management? The third one, and one of the most critical ones, and especially to me, is the community engagement and education. If you look at the history of our nation, for example, and all of us were taught in primary school that colonialists used what? Divide and conquer rule. And the divide and conquer rule was basically about information. If you're given the wrong information and you grow up knowing the wrong information, then you grow up doing the wrong things. And there's nothing worse than not knowing that you don't even know. Not knowing what you don't know and you don't even know that you don't know it. It can be so tough. So many of our communities, for example, or many of the people, maybe even amongst ourselves, we've been guilty of this. You're in a matatu, unamaliza chapo smoky, karatasi nje ya dirisha. You're at home instead of, and even I know like the county put up the green bin, the blue bin, the red bin. We don't know where to throw what. And that is from a general conservation perspective. So imagine how much more difficult it is for some of the nuanced spaces like forest conservation, right? We don't know what we don't know. And it is our role and mandate, especially as creative thinkers and innovators, to build these tools that will allow our communities to learn and be educated better. Twitter, for example, has been one of the greatest revolutions in information dissemination recently. It's where a lot of the movements we're in are organized. What's the other app that started off in Maandamano? The walkie-talkie one. What's the name? I forget its name. Zello. Zello now is being used by Uber drivers everywhere. That's not even the reason it was built. And Uber drivers everywhere are using it to understand traffic routes, to understand. There's a time Uber drivers were even using it to cause hikes in price, because we just decide, leo hatuendi side ya Buruburu, wacha watu wa Buruburu watulie kwanza, and then they go to Buruburu later, all of them. The ability of human beings to leverage technology to our benefit is so incredibly powerful. And if we are able to build tools within these 3 tracks that make sense, that have an absolute use case, then we'll move on to the next screen where I'll talk about how, oh my God, I don't know how to look behind and, let me see. Okay. We'll now move into what then is in store for whatever things that are built. So right now we're on November 1st, which is the launch of the hackathon. November 1st is supposed to be your opportunity to understand what's going on and what you want to leverage and how you want to start thinking about it. Next week, we'll begin the mentorship sessions. So all of us here will be put in a WhatsApp group together with everybody else that has applied to the hackathon. We have an incredibly huge, and thank you to everyone who has applied. Thank you to everyone watching from home as well who has applied to this. We have such a huge and incredible number of talented people who have applied to participate in the hackathon. So starting next week, we'll start our mentorship sessions. You'll be allocated your mentor. You'll be allocated all the research and data that you need. As Antigrow, for example, we have APIs that you can leverage, that you can use if you're building anything. And you don't have to build something fundamentally technology-based. Yours can even be an idea from a creative space. Some of us are creatives here, and we really know how to understand the psychology of information and how it's passed. And the good thing about being put together in teams is you can have that diversity. One is a researcher, one is a builder, one is a creative, one person is really good at pitches and telling stories. Yeah, so that's how the teams will be allocated. So you'll get an opportunity to either join a team of your own if you're already if you're already part of a team, join another team, or you can be an individual contributor. My opinion is that it's much better to be in a team, because once the hackathon ends and the top teams are selected, then incubation starts, and it's very difficult to build these things alone. So that's on the 8th, and then on the 8th of November, so between Monday and the 8th of November, which is Saturday, there'll be mentorship and all that. And then over the weekend on Saturday, we can meet up at Antler. So many of us have been to Antler, at least, especially if you're a builder. We can meet up there. There'll be food, drinks, an opportunity for you to meet your mentors and to sit together as a team. Antler is free to stay there from morning to the next day, to Monday, if you want to. So we'll meet up at Antler. And then between then and the 15th, you should have already gotten your initial foundational ideas. So 8th to 15th is for you to build your prototypes. So prototype your idea, test it out, have it up on Vercel or something like that, have it up on your GitHub. We can help you do code review if you're building something technical. If it's something you want to test in social media, if you're a creative, for example, maybe you want to test something out in social media. You want to go around interviewing people, and that's how you build momentum. And that's what you want to present on the 29th. So you can begin to do that. On the 15th, we'll have another session as well for all the mentors to see where everybody is at and to give you feedback. Because between the 15th and the 29th is your final sprint. On the hackathon day, you're not coming to start building, because we have 12 hours. We have 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You're not coming to start building on the last day. You're coming to do the final tweaks. And then you'll do your presentations, and then at the end of the day, we'll have an award ceremony, and then we'll get the top 5 teams recognized, and then we'll have teams out of the 5, the creme de la creme out of the 5 teams will have an opportunity to be incubated throughout next year by the Greenbelt Movement and the Wangari Maathai Foundation. Whatever it is that you're building, and you'll see in the hackathon tracks, is one, yours. It is your idea. It is your project. You're going to be running with it. 2, you will have some parts of it that need to be open sourced, so that other people like you can. If we might hold a hackathon like this next year, so for them to understand what it takes to build this. But fundamentally, it's your idea, it's your IP. It's not Wangari Maathai Foundation, it's not GBM, it's your IP. Okay? And so beyond that, now you can be incubated with the foundation and the Greenbelt Movement, and continue to scale that through testing opportunities. Like you had the foundation say that they're doing something in Kakamega Forest. we have the Karura Forest, and we have so many other spaces, community education, so you're able to test that. We have GSMA here, we have Pillar here. All these partners are still going to be available to us post-hackathon. So for some of us who are looking for internship, job opportunities to pitch some of the ideas we already have and have already built, these partners are still present to hear that. And we'll continue to announce a lot more of what's in store for you from all the partners that are in the room. So continue to check us out on our socials and on the WhatsApp group that we'll share. So fundamentally, that's it. The other thing that I want to mention is that we will want as much as possible for teams to interact in person. So try as much as possible to find opportunities to spend time together in a room. That's why you're providing Antler as a venue. That's why we're providing, we'll have other venues being announced for where you can meet as hotspots, but Antler primarily will be a venue to you available on the 8th and on the 15th for you to meet and engage your mentors. Your mentors will also be physically present on those days. The other thing is, please start building early. I've been part of hackathons before, Antugro has been part of hackathons before, Vincent, Jane, and so many of you. You know, sometimes you want to say, hey, ikitu ni 48 hours, mi nitakuja kesho, nitapiga mboka yangu, nitawin. And then you realize, GitHub hiyo siku ndio ifanyi, AWS imeanguka, stima imelost, laptop imezima, hauna bundles, idea moto iko kwa kichwa. So unaambia jamani kuna idea. Kila mzee kuna idea. So build early. Start thinking about it early. Andika hapo hello world mapema. You know, so that we start creating this momentum as early as possible. Again, there's so much rich technical mentorship that is going to be available to you. We have Dedan Kimathi University. We have the University of Nairobi who will provide technical mentors. We have mentorship from Oracle. We have mentorship from GSMA. We have mentorship from so many other partners that will be available to you. Use that opportunity as much as you can. Personally, in how many minutes? Oh, personally, even at Antugro, it's not just about building the business. It's about the networks that you build beyond that and how you can leverage them. So take this opportunity as much as you can to both build what you're building and network with the people in the room and get to understand what more you can do. So that's it in terms of the journey. Post-hackathon will begin, so December will be an opportunity for all the programs that have been announced as winners to get to understand a lot more about what your plan is. And then starting next year is when the incubation program begins. It will be done in partnership with the Greenbelt Movement and the Wangari Maathai Foundation and some of the partners we still have in the room. And you can be pretty much solid for the rest of next year in terms of being able to build something. If you can move to the next slide, Jane. The other one. No, the last one. This is the real thank you slide. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. I want us to take any questions right now. Please ask questions. And then after that, we'll serve lunch. And you can engage the mentors and each other in the room. Don't go home yet, please. Engage, ask questions, and then Jane will help you join the WhatsApp group we've created for you where we'll continue to disseminate. We have, and sorry, I didn't mention, and I'll give you an opportunity to speak regarding Geo Habari, and I know you have something in store for everyone in the room after this. I'll give you an opportunity to speak just at the end. Actually, let me give you an opportunity to speak now, and then I'll close it off. But start preparing your questions as she speaks.
Hi everyone, Saseni. My name is Yeriwo. I'm a podcaster, I'm a techie, analyst specifically. I think analysts were not mentioned. But if you're an analyst, reach out. I'm happy to see how we can support and figure out, especially the reporting bit of it. I think there's a lot of that we can do there as well. But in the meantime, I'll be doing some fun questions to you guys at the back, and then we'll probably have them on social media to just capture the voices at this hackathon, why we are here, what you're looking forward to achieve, and then a couple of more interesting myth busters about tech. So I'll be engaging with you at the back. It's nothing intense, trust me. It's just fun questions about this experience. So happy to be here. The podcast is called GeoHabari. We're available across all platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Yes.
Thank you. So content creator washaanza kuunda content. Okay, anyone with a question, please?
Regarding the timeline. So between now until the 8th, what is happening? Yeah.
Okay, so today you get added to the WhatsApp group. On the WhatsApp group, all the information we've talked about is going to be shared there in terms of what's in store, what's next, etc, etc, etc. Starting to Monday, you get attached to your mentors. Okay, so the WhatsApp group will be used, and you as well will be used as an opportunity for you to be formalized into teams or to decide whether you want to come in as an individual contributor. Between then and the end of the week, you get attached to your mentors. So that's Monday is date 3rd. So 3rd to 7th, attached to mentors, start ideating, start thinking. On the 8th, meet at Antler, get to meet your mentors, get to meet your teams, get to start building your ideas. 8th to 15th, the ideas that you've started on with your teams, together with your mentors, put the hammer on the head of the nail. By the 15th, you've built a prototype that is early enough to be something that you can share with somebody, you can tell a story about. 15th to 29th, turn your prototype into something that can win a hackathon. 29th, come do your final touches, come to the main hackathon event, do your presentations. In the evening, top 5 teams are recognized, and out of the top 5 teams, the really, 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 really good ones get an opportunity for incubation. So so for example, if it's 2 of 5, the entire team of 5 still has massive opportunity. So it's not just you just get a handshake for the principal and go home. There is opportunity that is going to be provided to the top teams. And yeah, that's it. Is that clear? Okay.
My other question is the size of the teams, and for this section where we're getting mentors, is it 1 mentor for 1 team, 2?
Okay, that's a good question. So a team can be anywhere from 2 to 5 people. So you can come in as 2 people or 5 people. A mentor, typically a mentor will be attached to, say, 2 or 3 teams, depending on the number of participants, because we still have people applying for this. But what we have made sure of is that you will get the most out of your mentor. So we'll not have a mentor mentoring everybody, ni kama ni daro. So you will get an opportunity to get the best out of your mentor. You'll have office hours with them, so a booking into their diary through the week. You'll have their email, and for those that are able or comfortable sharing, you'll have their phone number so you can chat, and an opportunity to meet with them at least once every week for the next few weeks. Ariri.
Can I build with any tech? Can the solution be on blockchain, or is it supposed to be on Web2?
Anything. You can build anything. You can decide you're building an Instagram. You can decide you're building a social media page in which you upload content that has the ability to go viral, and you have a good plan for that. You can build something on blockchain for, say, tokenization or something like that. You can build a blog, anything, whatever it is that fits within the 3 tracks and is an idea that you're passionate about, build it, If it wins, we incubate it.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my question would be, would you clarify all the resources that will be made available for dev work?
Okay. So the technical resources is Antugru will provide APIs. So for satellite data, for AI tools. Adama as well will provide tools for your IDEs. So similar to how you can have Claude on your IDEs, so they'll provide tools for your IDEs that you can use. Some of the resource partners like GSMA, WRI will provide research data. So information such as what's been happening in the climate scene in the past few years, so you can scrape from that. We'll be providing you with technical mentors, so developers and engineers who can then help you know where to get what beyond what we'll have provided for you. And then the Grillband movement and Wangari Maathai Foundation will provide with you some of the difficult to access data about what's happening in our forests currently, so that you know then what to build beyond that. Does that help? Perfect. Where is the other mic?
Hi guys. So my question would be, now that we are having people from different fields in this room, I do understand that the hackathon, most people are at the forefront, are the engineers or the developers. But now that you've mentioned, we have people, storytellers, content creators, and a person like me, I'm coming from a UI UX background. And in a way, I do understand the role that good design plays. I know the idea is the core component of any solution, but even the good design also plays a role. What plans do you have to ensure that people from these other backgrounds, we are also plugged into the whole thing and the groups? Yep.
Thank you, thanks for the question. So that's why the WhatsApp group that we're putting you into is going to be critical, because through that we'll share a way for you to, like a form through which you can talk about what it is that you're really, really good at, especially if you're not attached to a team yet, if you're not attached to a team. And then we use what you're good at to help map you to the right spaces. So for example, I am a UI UX designer. I want to build on track 1, and I want to contribute this and this and this. And then we can use that to help map you to a team, or where you are right now, say if you're in uni, and you know you have 3 friends that will be interested, you can add them to your team and then just give that information back to us. So again, this is not, a team can be full of devs only, but this is not just for devs. And to grow, for example, I am a data scientist, Eddie's a blockchain engineer, but most of the work I do is business development and management and some of the creative work. I no longer do as much of the deep tech work. And it's because, different people have different roles to play within the team. So don't shy away if you're not a technical person. You will be matched to somebody who is technical, who you can build together. Or you could decide to completely ignore the technical route and say you want to build a purely creative product. And we'll help you do that.
Thank you, Brian. Mine is not a question, but it's just an FYI, that as Wangari Maathai Foundation, we have some of the problems we have identified, and some of these problems came from young people in Kakamega around the forest that we shall be sharing with you to just assist in ideation. So perhaps we'll guide when is the right time to share that, so that Agnes can share. Or it can still be shared in the WhatsApp group that you. So we just prepare, or if you can as well reach out to us to just share with you the problems so that you can start thinking about the solution. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question, and I guess it's mostly for those who are coming up with the solutions. Will there be a space for them to sort of like just list down? It's almost like a mind dump of questions, which would be online, so then that way everybody can have access and because I guess not everybody here, as you go back home and you start thinking about, ooh, I should have asked that, I should have asked that. Is there a way that will be able to capture those questions as well?
As a team, or one that can be, that if I share, everybody sees?
If you share, everybody sees.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We can make that happen. So we can have like a Miro board where everybody shares something. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Oh.
Mine is just to say that in case you need a space, a physical space where you want to brainstorm, we have our GBM offices in Kilimani. You can come. Sasa, during the week, to sit down and brainstorm together, because they're not likely you might need a space where you can talk to each other. So what you just need to do, where is Elsie? Or I have Teresa here, so ensure you see her and Elsie. Just link up with them and tell them when you want to come. We have a lot of tea and coffee for you, for free, for you to come and brainstorm and agree on a way forward. Because I know that can be a challenge when it comes to coordinating.
I have a friend who once walked into an office, sat down, and refused to leave and started working. And finally, she was employed in that office. I'm not saying anything. Just walked into an office, sat down with their laptop, started working, and refused to leave. Do with that information what you will. Okay, anyone else? Okay, cool, great. So next steps is please scan this, if you can. You'll be able to join the WhatsApp group. Please scan it if you can. And then after you join, you'll receive a lot more information on there. Then the next thing, please see Mercy. If you have not checked in for today, please see Mercy. Just so that we know who is here from the list of people that we have, so we can better coordinate. So make sure you see Mercy afterwards. Please don't leave, interact with everyone in the room, and then we can break off for it. Thank you from me and the entire team organizing this. I want to thank all our partners that are in the room that took time to come and spend time with us today and share their knowledge, and partners that will continue to be involved through the next few weeks. Thank everyone here in the room, the builders, the thinkers, the innovators, the movers and shapers, for coming and being present, asking questions, being curious, and being willing to participate in this. I'm really looking forward to a good next couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to a good number of solutions. I'm especially looking forward to the next year. We've done a lot of work to make sure that this is as much for the devs as possible and for the builders and innovators and creators. So really looking forward to that. And yeah, thank you. I want to call up Mona to do a vote of thanks for us, and then we can close. Thank you.
Thank you, Amani. I guess first of all, I just want to get a feel of the room, and this is my favorite bit, is I like to point at people and ask them how they're feeling. People who did not speak, people who I saw walking in. There's this lovely lady who walked in, so I want to ask. Sorry, first of all, what's your name?
Cynthia.
Hello, Cynthia, how are you? You're good, I'm good, I'm good. How are you feeling about, the challenge, the hackathon, whatever it is? And are you here as a creator, developer, blogger? What is your space? Thank
Let me introduce myself again. My name is Cynthia Wangeshi. I am an urban designer and developer by profession. I'm in the built environment and the environment in general. I'm looking forward to sharing, learning, and exchanging ideas about how to better our environment.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Who's my next victim volunteer? I mean, put up your hand before. I'll just be picking 2 more people, so don't worry. There's a gentleman who's trying very hard not to look at me. Please introduce. And what it is that your name? And the space that you're in as you've come to this hackathon and what you're looking forward to.
I am Amos Solwoch. I'm a software engineer. In this hackathon, I come in as a developer.
What are you most excited about?
Yeah, I'm excited about bringing solution about the environment.
Thank you. Who's next? Thank you. You see me, I like people who just put their hand up. But because he's put his hand up, that means I need one other person. I'm looking at you 2 ladies. Prepare yourselves, one of you.
Hello. Hi guys, how are you doing? I'm Ran Wanjie. I'm a software.
That when it's amplified becomes a big thing and becomes a movement. So every single thing, every idea you have, nothing is wasted. So please, 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 to those of you who are coming to this hackathon to produce solutions which are homegrown, I'm really excited about what you're going to bring to us. So my next bigger thanks is to yourselves for showing up, and can't wait to see what you come up with. So, and also thank you, I believe it is, to iHit for hosting us. Say thank you. Clap, people. And to the team who are catering and feeding us, and to the tech team who are around, who are going to take beautiful pictures of us. And please make sure you do go, and so you meet our lovely podcaster here, so you can share your thoughts as well, so you can also become famous. And yes, so thank you everybody, and have a lovely rest of the weekend.
Thanks. So we'll take a group photo quickly before we go outside. So tukuje kameramani, and then we can go out for lunch. Thank you. The partners on Mbele. Okay, photo. So partners, please sit at the front. Partners, please sit at the front. Partners at the front, at the front, at the front.
ngabuthini maluthini mina bangani yabazi vele baqina ngesipatshi usando lwamama yalazi lwenze into to be starch